Come down, sir. Is that not just the coolest thing? He is just sliming me up to Fuma down there. Not here to herp necessarily, but I'm trying to do a little bit of it on the way. But nice little redback salamander. Flipping at night because we've been doing other stuff all day, but just kind of exploring stuff. But beautiful little redback. Guys, yeah, I was wrong about this being a, let me turn my light on. Wrong about it being a redback salamander. This is actually, in fact, a zigzag salamander. As you can see, this one's a lot duller than the last, but still the same species, just variation. But pretty cool, nifty little salamander. He's tiny. He's in his little defensive curl. Just show you guys where I'm at. We got city there, and over here I got this. Alrighty guys, well, much larger individual of a zigzag salamander. See if I move this guy. Very cool. It's a bigger guy. And I believe these are my lifer zigzags. I think I've only seen redbacks before. I'm pretty stoked about it. They're neat. I just flipped a whole nest of zigzag salamanders. Holy cow. Isn't that cool? That's a lot of salamanders. Letting these guys go here, making sure they all get to safety and crawl back under their brick structure here. There you go. Alright guys, I'm out here in this beautiful rocky hillside on top of a mountain, and it's way too cold to see snakes in my opinion, so I'm gonna flip for some salamanders. Alrighty guys, a little out of breath from climbing so high up, but right here we got two zigzag salamanders. It's cool to see these guys in the daylight. That's a pretty one there. Kind of thought these guys would be a little bit bland, but they are beautiful in person. But we're gonna put them back, keep moving. Hopefully those guys can stay nice and warm in there. Look at this awesome milk snake habitat. Really high up now. Wish it wasn't too cold for milk snakes. A lot of these rocks I'm flipping are sitting on top of other rocks. Just flipped a log on top of this rock, and we got a zigzag hanging out with his millipede buddy. So this guy's a good example of why they're called the zigzag salamander. You can see that clear zigzag kind of stripe on the back, on his back there, as opposed to redbacks having a solid red stripe that doesn't really waver any. Just thought he was a nice little example of the pattern. Let him go back under there. This is a place I will be visiting in sometime later in the spring. It's just freaking awesome looking. That's a more dull zigzag, but he's still cool looking. All right, bub. I'd like to see some of your more red friends. What? See if we can rustle something up. Got two more zigzags right here. They're under this huge, massive rock. These guys are so cool. I mean, you can say what you want about them being common, but they're a novelty to me because obviously being in South Georgia, I don't see them. So I believe these are my lifers. I'm pretty stoked to get to find them. Alright guys, we have made it to our hiking spot for the day, and I cannot tell you how excited I am because it feels amazing out here. It feels like just the right temperature to see snakes, in my opinion. Could be a little warmer, wouldn't hurt, but all in all, I think we're gonna have good luck today. Well guys, I went to flip this log and accidentally peeled a little bit of the bark back. That is the largest slimy salamander I've ever seen, I think. That thing is massive. Holy cow. It's a big salamander. I think I'm gonna take some photos of this guy just because he's so big and pretty. That's a pretty Sally. He is just sliming me up too. Haven't seen as many of these guys as I would have liked this year, so really glad, or this winter, so I'm really glad to finally get my hands on one. Seen a few, but not nearly as many as I usually do. Alright guys, well it's the first snake of the day, and I don't even know what time it is. It's 12:51, so it's almost 1 o'clock. And finally, walked up on this guy, basking right here. Let me make sure there's no buddies hanging around. Oh, there he goes. It was a banded water snake, but he's gone. Guys, another salamander. It's a little slimy salamander, same species as before. But this dude is tiny. With slimies, they're actually, the eggs are laid on land and hatched out on land, which is kind of unusual for amphibians because instead of going through the whole cycle of, you know, starting out in the water and metamorphing, they just come out as little tiny salamanders. They metamorph inside the egg before they even come out. So, pretty neat. Cute little guy. About to put him back. Oh, he just jumped. These cool salamanders can use their tail to launch themselves. It's called salamander locomotion. I don't know if I can get them out to show it again, but they're really good at it. If you ever find a little tiny salamander like that, and sometimes even bigger ones, they can just launch themselves like a frog. Next snake, guys. Oh, it zipped down a hole. Darn. He zipped in there. I think it was actually a plain belly, but he dove down his little hole, so he was out basking. I think what I'm going to do is walk around in here. Just flipped another monster slimy. What is the deal with these things here? Whoa. Look at you. Not quite as pretty, but still huge. Alright, let's put this guy back. Keep looking. Maybe we'll find a snake that's actually out and we'll stay put long enough for us to get a good look at it. And why are you so big? Whoa, they're huge here. Make them bigger than where I'm from. Another big salamander. This is getting me all slimed up. Okay, I'm just gonna let it go back to doing its thing. I don't know if you guys heard, but back there, I'm sure you did, you could hear lots of what I'm pretty sure was upland chorus frogs calling. So that would be a lifer. Plus, I know there's some cool salamanders here that would also be lifers, so I'm hoping to leave you with a lifer today. Salamander tail. Also a mouse that I didn't get on video, but little mousey in here. That is what I call a stump hole. Hello everyone, and tonight we are going to go looking for some large aquatic salamanders. I left my net. Alright guys, it is the next night. I am back home in South Georgia. We are going to go look for some salamanders tonight, except we're going to go look for some very large aquatic salamanders. I haven't been out and do this in a while because usually I do this during the summer, but right now in the early spring, it's actually a pretty good time to do this because on the warm nights like tonight, salamanders like the cooler weather. Alright guys, there's a rodeo right there, so I'm about to go try to catch it. Hey bud. How are you? You're pretty. Okay. Okay. Oh no. Ooh. Calm down, dude. He's hissing. Listen to that. And this spot is known for having some massive neurodia. And I'm talking the biggest I've ever seen in my life. Like, this place grows some monster water snakes because there's so many frogs out here. It's like an endless food supply, and it's also one of the densest places I know of for neurodia. There's just tons and tons of water snakes in this borrow pit. So I figured I'd see one of these out here. But this guy isn't that long, but look how chunky he is. It's like cottonmouth size, almost. There you go. Alrighty guys, at a slightly different spot. I just found the thing I've been looking for tonight, and it is a greater siren, so I'm going to go ahead and try to net it before it gets away. The siren got away, unfortunately, but there's a yellow-bellied slider out there grazing. Kind of cool. I could try to get that slider, but I don't really want to wade all the way out there just for a turtle, or for a slider. Alright guys, I managed to net a different one. This is a greater siren, and pretty big, but not as big as they come. I'm gonna keep him in the mud right here so he can kind of stay hydrated, but super cool aquatic salamander. Is that not just the coolest thing? They have front legs, or front arms there, but then back here they have no hind legs. So super unique. They scavenge and hunt for crayfish. They'll eat carrion, just anything they can suck off the bottom of the pond, you know, worms, things like that. But they're pretty good at maneuvering on really moist, soggy land like this. But for the majority of their life, they're going to stay in the water unless they're moving from one body of water to the next while it rains or something like that. But even then, typically you don't see them like crossing roads and stuff like that. There have been people who see these guys crossing roads and stuff, but typically you're going to find them in the water in wetlands. They're not really made for life on land. They have external gills, which you can't really see when they're out of the water, but in the water, they're very easy to see, very fluffy gills. So when you're handling them, you have to be very careful not to damage those. That's just the coolest thing. Nice having this mud puddle right here, because typically when I get them out, I have to get them back into the water really quick before they dry out. But because he's in this mud, we're actually able to see him crawl around. It's pretty awesome. I mean, that is a salamander. The thing is, these are common. They're not rare or anything in South Georgia. Florida, South Georgia, the coastal plain, they're common. This is just a pond in my grandparents' yard, and there's tons of these things in it. But you'd never know they were there unless you came out at night specifically looking for them. Alright, so I think it's time to let this guy go. We've gotten a good look at him, and it's awesome getting to see him crawl around in this mud. So look at that flattened tail. Several species. There's also the lesser siren, which doesn't get as big, and the dwarf siren and the reticulated siren, which is a new species to be described recently, and it's actually the largest animal, I believe, to be described as a species in the past like 100 years or something like that. So pretty cool. But yeah, we're gonna go let this guy go back over there. It's okay, bud. It's okay. Hard to hold on to. It's all right. There you go. Back where he belongs. Super cool. There we go. Fast too. All right, final stop of the night. We found our targets. Saw a siren and a Nerodia to put the icing on the cake. One last stop and see if we can find something else to decide, since that Nerodia was out. Might be worth seeing if we could turn up a cottonmouth tonight. Guys, there's an amphuma down there. So I'm gonna go get my net. Should have brought it with me. I have my hook. But I'm gonna go get my net and see if I can net that thing. That's so cool. Hey guys, so the amphuma got away last night. I didn't really film a very good outro, so I'm doing it now. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Check in for the next video because it's going to have a lot of cool stuff. I actually went out today and found a lot of snakes. So that video is going to be up relatively soon after this one. So keep your eye out for that. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.